Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for May December. This is a new film from 2023, rated R, with a runtime of an hour and 57 minutes. You can watch this now on Netflix. As of the recording of this video, we have a Rotten Tomato score of 92% with an 84% score for the audience and a Letterboxd average rating of 4.0. In this film, 20 years after the notorious tabloid romance gripped the nation, Gracie Atherton Yu and her husband Joe, 23 years her junior, brace themselves for their twins to graduate from high school. When Hollywood actress Elizabeth Berry comes to spend time with the family to better understand Gracie, who she will be playing in a film, family dynamics unravel under the pressure of the outside gaze. Joe, never having processed what happened in his youth, starts to confront the reality of life as an empty nester at 36, and Elizabeth and Gracie study each other. The similarities and differences between the two women begin to ebb and flow. Set in the picturesque, uncomfortable Camden, Maine, May December is an exploration of the truth, storytelling, and the difficulties or impossibility of fully understanding another person. This film is directed by Todd Haynes with a screenplay by Sammy Burge, and it stars Natalie Portman as Elizabeth, Charles Melton as Joe, and Julianne Moore as Gracie. Boy, and I know that was a lot that I just threw out at you. I went into this film not really knowing anything about it, about the premise. I didn't even see the trailer for this. I don't think. I just knew that it dropped on Netflix, and I wanted to check it out because I'm a big fan of Natalie Portman. Um, and I was not disappointed. Um, I will say this is not my preferred genre of type of movie. You guys know I love the comic book stuff. I love the action. I love all that kind of stuff. You know, horror. Like this kind of story thriller, like people being confronted by other people, like just these little more quiet stories of like interpersonal relationships and unraveling mystery, and then just like people kind of learning and behaving differently, all that exploration of stuff. Like I find it very interesting, but it's usually not the first thing I gravitate to when it comes to movies. One of the reasons I watched this film was because I heard a lot of the hype that was building up from people I follow on Letterbox, people that I talk to, and just overall on the internet. A lot of people were saying this is one of the best films of the year, and I can definitely see where they're coming from. I definitely agree that this is one of the best things I've seen all year. I'm not really familiar with Todd Haynes, but after this, I'm going to be looking for more of his work. From what I understand, this is a first-time screenplay author, Sammy Birch. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. This is just a really interesting exploration of people's behavior. I think one of the things that I really liked is some of the themes about like how true crime is kind of being very interested, our national obsession with uh, revisiting maybe traumatic events for specific people, making them kind of relive some of the real life trauma for entertaining. Going back to have recreations of all these things that happen in society. Like there's a lot of, for example, we just saw Love and Death by HBO, and then also Candy from Hulu, both kind of retelling the same story of a murder in Texas, right? And people find those things fascinating. So it's a very interesting exploration of that, like how that comes to be. Um, I think Todd Haynes manages to create a film that it doesn't fully take itself very seriously. I think it hopes that maybe the audience can engage and just kind of be there for some of those unsettling and awkward ideas that are presented throughout the film. Maybe even laugh at some of that stuff. Maybe just find the humor in some of that. But it's done in such a way where it's not too much. It's not directly in your face. Like this is not a comedy. This is just kind of like a real life situation. Um, it was really really entertaining seeing the layers peel back between the relationships, specifically between Gracie and Joe. Right, that they have a the fact that their relationship is very taboo and unconventional, and there's such a large difference of age in them. Like it is, I mean, it was something that I wasn't really sure. Like I said, I didn't know. exactly what we were going to get into until we were presented with some of the events as the film goes on. So that was just very, very interesting to explore. Um, I think there's some very heartbreaking moments that I'll get into in a second. This film's also very tantalizing, and I think at points it can get a little spicy. Uh, as with any film like this, I think that's part of the appeal of like the forbidden doors that are kind of like being opened, or you get to peek through and stuff, or even as the audience, just being a spectator for some of those things. It is dark. It is unsettling for sure. There's a lot of places where I felt like things were gonna go really badly, and I think it's even more jarring to have things not go badly and just kind of go back to the status quo, than to actually have something happen. But yeah, it's just very smart when it picks to do those things, right? It picks those places, like you think maybe a relationship's about to be over, but then they kind of go back to just being normal the next day or something like that, which is weird because we as the audience expect like things to start breaking down, but they don't. So that just like it kind of builds up that tension of like, oh, it's coming, like the other shoe's about to drop. There's a lot of weird character moments, very awkward conversations, but the performances here are in top. Like the cast is in top form. Like Natalie Portman just does a fantastic job as this Hollywood actress trying to really work on her craft and hone in and be. It's funny to see somebody that's also kind of like like a spectator in their story within the story. um, I think one of the standouts was Charles Melton. I've seen a lot of praise for him online, and I definitely agree. Uh, he delivers a really great performance in one of the most heartbreaking moments when he figures out that his children kind of have outgrown him, right? Because he had these kids very early on in his life, so they are getting to a place where they're ready to move on to their lives. They've gotten to a point in their lives where they kind of outgrew him because his life kind of was stunted by this relationship, and at a very young age he became a father, uh, of these kids, and now that they get to move on with their lives and have more normal lives, and he realizes like all the stuff that he probably missed out on in life, for being in this relationship. Like he begins to examine, was it worth it? Like did all the like trauma happen to me and I don't think I ever processed it? Like there's just a lot in that character, and I think Julianne Moore is always like a fantastic performer. She just embodies this person who acts like they are naive and that they are kind of a victim, but I feel like in the flip side, as the audience, we realize that she's really fully in control of everything that's happening, that maybe she's not as naive as we think. And I think it's really fun to explore that same part with a lot of the characters within the film as they realize the same. So yeah, visually this looked fantastic. I There were some scenes where there seems to be like this texture to the film, uh, that I found very interesting. Like it almost feels like if we are looking in through a window. There's a lot of shots that have people framed with the like, whether it's like from the outside looking through a window or a mirror or a reflection. There's a very personal scene between Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman where they are just very close, and they are really the driving forces of this film. So yeah, it was an experience, and I'm very glad I just kind of threw it on, because I didn't know it was not on my list of things to do this weekend to check out that film. So I'm very glad I did. So uh, yeah, this is it. I had to do a lot of prep for this because I don't usually talk about movies like this, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad I watched it, and hopefully this finds an audience that connects with. And so, if you guys have seen this, let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about this film, the performances, and everything I just talked about. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.